We're working on a resolution that's been drafted already, and we're circulating among our colleagues. And what that resolution will do is come to the conclusion that many of our citizens and the people we represent are already reaching. Right here in the Florida Keys, I'll visit people at their homes or at their businesses, and they'll show me the changes in the sea level over the years. And some of these people have lived here 30, 40, 50 years, so they have a great perspective. So our short-term goal in Congress, before we get to more substantive policies, and through appropriations we're already doing some things, in addition to funding the environmental infrastructure account, we also have full funding for Everglades restoration in the same appropriations bill I mentioned, energy and water. So that's another very good sign that Congress is willing to make the investments that are required in order to address this issue as comprehensively as we can. But this resolution is going to seek to get members of Congress collectively to recognize the issue of climate change, of sea level rise, and to endorse the approach that we're talking about here, that market-driven approach that is really a preferable alternative to the regulatory approach. Even though I decided not to oppose the standards that the administration announced when we voted on that Ratepayer Protection Act, I do think that eventually we need an alternative to EPA regulation, and it's going to mean consumers, citizens take matters into their own hands and make rational decisions. So appropriations, we're funding environmental infrastructure, restoration programs. That's a very good sign. On more substantive legislation, on authorizations, we're trying to reach that modest goal of finding a consensus in Congress that recognizes this issue, accepts it, and commits to finding solutions.